Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. As you can see by the title, we're talking Liverpool in this stream, and the news that's coming out is absolutely horrific. It is for Liverpool fans anyway. But I'm joined by Gini. How are we doing, mate?
Not a great day, but we move. Forget about the season. But yeah, happy to be back on this channel. So make sure everyone subscribes, and yeah, big up yourself now.
100%. Cheers for that, mate. And yeah, please do make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe. So we might as well jump straight into it. I've got some tweets here from the Anfield Watch, so you know that if they're tweeting it, it's from a reliable source. FSG have rejected a bid of almost $3 billion for Liverpool Football Club. That is horrific in itself. That is horrific in itself. It gets worse. The offer was made before it was announced the principal owner, John W. Henry, had been involved in talks over the now doomed Super League. It is understood to have come from the Middle East. That is horrific. Very horrific. There's more. Other potential bidders, most of them also from oil-rich Middle East, are hovering, waiting to see if John W. Henry and Anfield chairman Tom Werner had changed their mind after coming under fire from angry Liverpool fans. Now, Gini, I'll go to you. The fact that there is an offer there for the club, obviously John W. Henry, the trust is gone, right? There is a trust issue. Obviously, he's tried raising ticket prices, tried furloughing staff. Now the Super League. It does appear to me that Liverpool fans are at the end of their tether with FSG. What's your thoughts on obviously the whole bid takeover? What's your thoughts on
it? It's deflating because when you hear where they're from, Middle East, obviously they said from like an oil business type thing, then that's heartbreaking because you look at the examples, like what they've done to City is the main example, and they've turned them into a powerful force in the Premier League. They've come from nothing to the best side in the Premier League under owners like that, because I think they actually, possibly the Super League suggests otherwise, but they actually care. The problem is with the American owners, the Glazers, FSG, Kroenke, they don't care. They care about the business. It's all about what they're investing in. So it's deflating when you get news like that, where someone that could, would actually give a toss and even probably know that Liverpool are playing, being rejected. But I think the main bit about it from that tweet from the Anfield Watch, and obviously coming from the Mirror paper, is that it was reported as before the Super League, which just shows all they cared about was the Super League. All they cared about the profit they was making from that, because at the end of the day, that's all these owners care about is their back pockets. So obviously they saw the Super League as a financial perspective. They knew it'd ruin football, so the apology's not, it's not right at all, because they knew the precautions of it. You don't have to have many brain cells to work out that football fans wasn't going to like their club being played in China and America and being televised as just money. So it's deflating. It really is deflating.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Velvet Schwan saying big up. I'll try to come on in a bit. Big up to Chris, who says big up the panel. This should be calm. Hopefully, it will be calm. Mr. Potter saying the Fenway Sports Group out. I sort of have to agree with that. I have to agree. I mean, the trust is gone. And when the trust is gone, there's nothing left. And this isn't the first mess up they've done. As I said, I gave examples of increasing season ticket prices, furloughing staff, not really investing into the club. Like, I understand their model and how they want to do it, but that's not what is needed. You need to invest money. The bit that I noticed, so I did a little bit of look at John W. Henry. His worth is $3 billion. He would have doubled his worth. Why does he not want to say? Why does he not want to sell Liverpool? What is in it for him at Liverpool Football Club?
He clearly sees money in it. He doesn't. For me, it shows that he's not going to be investing masses of money, or he doesn't plan to, because then he loses money. If he invests money, he loses money, technically speaking. So, if he was going to, if he had plans this summer to invest masses in Liverpool, then he'd sell, because he's made so much profit and he's not under pressure to spend big in the summer. Now he's under loads of pressure to spend big in the summer, because the fans already want him out. There was meant to be protests today. I think Klopp and Henderson's comments have swayed it. I think, whilst the teams focused on what was a big game at the time, that then wasn't really the right time to do it. But the fans are on the backs. And they have to spend big, and like you said, they've doubled their market value. But for some reason, with these selfish, money grabbing owners, profit's not enough. They just see it as a business, and they see it as a long term project. Which the problem is, it's their mindset. They still think that it's this club from 6th and 7th that they took over. They took us over in 2010. We finished 6th, 7th that season. They still think we're that. They don't realise where we are as a football club. To be fair, I think some of our fans coming up don't actually realise that if you look at United, they want democracy. They want the Glazers out now, and they've made that loud and clear for years now. Liverpool fans are only just realising this now. Our success is from Jurgen Klopp and nothing to do with the owners. Jurgen Klopp has had 50 million to spend on Salah and on 2 wingers. He's brought in Salah and Mane and made them world class, world beaters, Champions League winners, Premier League winners. This is down to Jurgen Klopp, not Fenway Sports Group. So they don't care about they don't care about Liverpool. They just care about their back pockets. And if they win the Champions League, then they're happy for their profit money purposes, not for the club and not for the fans.
Yeah, no, look, I hear that. Chris saying I was FSG out before the Super League. Mr. Potter saying, I've got to say I was majorly disappointed with how Klopp handled the interview after the Leeds game. Interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of anger within the Liverpool ranks, and there's a lot of anger within all of the ranks, all of the clubs. There's just pure anger. But you mentioned Manchester United. Now, the reports are that they want 4 billion. They want 4 billion for United. Are you concerned that if Fenway don't decide to sell, that one of these owners might just go, fuck it, we'll put an extra billion on, we'll go to Old Trafford, we'll buy United, and we'll do that one instead? Are you worried that could be the case?
Yeah. The thing is, there's a lot more than normal, but there's not many Sheikh Mansurs around. There's not many Roman Abramoviches around that take over the club to keep financially well, because they have to do that as a business point of view. I get that, but at least show some care. So if Liverpool, if FSG don't sell up, and whoever the business is or the names are that's supposedly done this offer, go and buy United off them, then that's heartbreaking, because it's what we could have had if our owners wasn't selfish. If they do that, FSG are in trouble, because the fans will go absolutely mental. They won't know that what's hit them with their fans if these supposed takeover Arabs go and take over United when the opportunity was there. So I think the difference is FSG aren't sure on a price on what they want to sell. I think that if they get an offer, they'll evaluate it. They'll see if it's what they class as a good offer, they'll take it. The problem is that the Glazers have done. They have said 4 billion. You can have the club. That's my worry, because the Arabs can then go, like you said, let's add another billion on it, and then they have United. So
and arguably United don't ever take this disrespectfully, but they're bigger. They are bigger.
I'm not a biased fan. I get it.
They're bigger in terms of financials. Like their finances are through the roof, right?
Mm.
They have got the infrastructure. Yeah, you need to do up Old Trafford a bit. That ain't gonna take a lot. That will take a couple 100 million, right? That will be paid off by the club. Yeah, I know there's obviously a bit of debt with the club as well. It's what, 700 million?
Yeah.
So you're thinking financing the whole of United to do up Old Trafford to buy the club. You're talking 5 billion, right? But in return, you're getting the biggest club in England financially, the most successful club in England in terms of trophies. Do you think that this is going to come back and haunt you? Because as we've said, the Glazers have said 4 billion, you can have it. That's you give us 4 billion, we walk away. That must be a concern. But obviously, Velvershrine, I want to go to you. Are you well, firstly, what are your thoughts on this takeover?
Well, if it's happening, it's good, but it's not happening.
No,
I'm not even surprised.
It's not happening. That's the thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised really. Like, these owners, they want the money. They're always about the greed. They're not going to let any other owners take away from them. So I'm not surprised really.
Yeah. Are you concerned that as me and Gini have been talking about, that the issue is they've offered near on 3 billion? Are you concerned that the Glazers have put down a price? They've said 4 billion, United's yours. Are you concerned that these potential buyers are going to go, fuck it, if they're going to be a bunch of wankers about this, I'm going to go to Manchester and I'm going to buy United? Is that a concern that you've got?
Yeah, I think it's a concern, especially if they're especially going to United for a price higher than that, where they could just buy this club for less than that, is ridiculous. Like, I don't know who these owners are yet.
They're from the Middle East, so they're. I'll put the tweets up again, but before I do that, Chris, saying it's.
Why is he all smug?
Unfortunately, I think Tom's about to go on a rant in a second.
Why is he all smug?
The tweets are
because FSG can't win.
The tweets are: FSG have rejected a bid for almost 3 billion for Liverpool Football Club. The offer was made before it was announced the principal owner, John W. Henry, had been involved in talks over the now doomed Super League. It's understood to have come from the Middle East. The other potential bidders, most of them are from the oil-rich Middle East, are hovering over, waiting to see if John W. Henry and Anfield chairman Tom Werner changed their mind after coming under fire from angry Liverpool fans. Now, before we go, Tom, Russ saying yes, Genie.
Yes,
Craig
Russ.
is saying big up, Genie. Great to see you back, bud. But Tom, why are you so smug? You've just heard the news that FSG have rejected a bid of almost 3 billion for Liverpool. Why on earth are you so smug?
Because I've sat there and thought logically about it, and FSG can't win.
How?
Because FSG will never get a price for this club of that value again while they're owners, because of what they've done with the Super League. They'll never get an offer of 3 billion again because their perception is down the pan. They've missed out on the chance to get 3 billion because that was how much was in that Super League. That's never going to come again while they're in charge of the club. They're never going to get an offer like that. So they're down because of that. And now Klopp's at war with them. The fans are at war with them. The players are at war with them.
Have I missed something that Klopp said?
He's not going to say it publicly, of course he's not. But do you not think privately he's going to have grievances with them?
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to have to spend to try and get them back on side, to try and get the fans back on side while they're owners. Either way, FSG can't win. They've missed out on the chance to make a 10 times profit on this club by trying to be greedy, and it's come back and bit them on the arse, and it's no less than them greedy cunts deserve. So I'm very happy.
Are you not concerned?
We will get an offer that they will accept, and we will be owned by Saudis. We will be owned by Arabs. That is a matter of time.
The thing I'm gonna ask is, are you expecting them to come in with an improved offer then?
No, they're not gonna improve on 3 billion. They're just gonna offer 2 billion. because the club's not worth 3 billion.
Well, yeah, but what I was saying, I don't know if you heard us, but what I'm saying is the Glazers have put it out there. They've said 4 billion, United's yours. Are you concerned that these oil-rich Middle East
United ain't
owners?
worth 4 billion.
No. But are you concerned that if they just go fuck it, we'll chuck an extra billion on, we'll take one of the biggest financial clubs in Europe? Do you not think that they might try and do that instead then?
No smart owner would take United at the minute because you've got to pay off their debt, and that's near enough £1 billion. So, you're effectively paying 6 billion to acquire United. You're not going to pay that to acquire us. FSG are on their way out, as is. So they will sell for cheap. They're going to go. That you will get Liverpool for a cut price.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it's more expensive to get United, but they're the richest, or not richest, but they make the most money in the Premier League through sponsorship and everything. Old Trafford will need doing up. That will probably cost no more than 200 mil. The debt is currently around about 700 mil. So in theory, you're purchasing United and Old Trafford for just under 5 billion. Now, if they were to do that, as I said, they're getting the club that is the biggest in terms of revenue and financial stuff.
Let me throw this here. Liverpool Football Club isn't that much smaller than United. So
no, I understand that.
£3 billion difference.
If FSG, in terms of what they're saying, are not leaving, no matter what, do you not think that at some point, them potential buyers are just going to go, fuck it, you don't want to sell, I'll go buy United?
FSG are going to leave. FSG is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they just want out.
How? They've
every single thing they've tried to do in English football has fell flat on its face. They've burned every bridge possible, and now they're burning the bridges that matter most to the people that matter most.
I honestly don't think they give a shit. To be brutally honest with you.
They do because they care about money, and if they keep on burning these bridges, if they keep on making these mistakes, they're costing themselves money.
Tom, I saw your protest today. The fans are not going to be driving them out.
You know my opinions on that protest.
No,
that's gone. That's gone. From a business point of view, the best thing they can do is sell now, while interest is high. Following the news today, they have the perfect chance to get out relatively unscathed here. They will go out on a mini high for the club, bringing in Canate. That's how they will go out on a low, but they will have a little spike, so you're down there. You'll have a little spike from Canate. That's where you'll be, and you'll get out relatively unscathed. If you get out now, you will make 4 times, 5 times profit on your initial investment. It makes sense to get out now.
I admire your optimism.
What optimism? I'm sat here going, this is the biggest club in English football. It is. It's the most successful club.
United.
Tom, can I ask you a question? Do you honestly think FSG care?
Yeah, about money, yeah.
No, about the fans.
No, they don't give a fuck about the fans.
So what do you mean this is their chance to get unscathed? Because as far as I'm aware, they don't care if they get unscathed or not.
No. Because future business proposals, other people are less likely to do business deals if they've got a bad reputation. And this doesn't give you a good reputation. This is a chance to go out on a relative high. So when future businesses will look at FSG and their time at Liverpool, at the end, which is what most people look for, because at the end, most businesses have a tumultuous period. If you look at it at the end with us, if they were to sell right now, it would be, you were good owners. You had a couple of issues. You were good owners. You've left on a high. That is how a majority of them, unfortunately, would be. It's not the true narrative, but it's how the majority would be. This makes too much sense for FSG to not take you make how much return on your initial investment. We are not that. We have the biggest kit deal in the world, which can only get bigger. We're going to get more sponsors. We've got a good squad. We've got a great manager. It makes complete sense to step in now.
That manager also goes in 2024.
3 years. New owners come in. They've got 3 years.
I just don't know if they'll sell. I just don't think FSG will sell. Some comments
idiots
here.
If they don't. They're idiots if they don't.
Tom, all of them are idiots. Of course they are. I just don't think they're going to sell.
Do you think United are going to get an offer of 5 billion?
I think I don't think it'll be that much. I think the Glazers will negotiate. I think this protest today.
So you think the Glazers, the most stubborn people in football, will negotiate, but FSG won't?
I don't think FSG will, because I think there's a difference. I think the Glazers know their time is done, whereas FSG stubbornly, and by the sounds of how Klopp's acting, think that there's a chance. That's my opinion. Mr. Potter saying Velvish escaped the SWAT team. So happy you are still here. Russ is saying he obviously had a bet on Newcastle to grab a point. Mr. Potter, I'm not so sure Klopp is at war with them. His interview after the Villa game was shameful. He deflected everything and backed us and never backed us fans. I'm not sure about Tom's opinion. Looking at the big picture in England, Manchester United is a bigger club.
They are not the more successful club. They're not the more successful club, though. We are the most successful club in English football.
I think they've won 2 more trophies than you.
No, we've won 2 more trophies because we've got the
European stuff. but a lot of these owners won't necessarily look at success, and they'll think, oh, we can turn United.
The profit margins aren't that big.
Oh, trust me. I spoke to Saul's, obviously, not Saul's. People in, and I know someone who's been able to look at some stuff, and trust me, their profit margins are fucking huge.
But they are not 2 billion, 3 billion pounds difference.
No, but
they aren't that big.
Yeah, but it's an extra.
Both clubs.
It's an
bigger.
Extra, yeah,
but it's not that big.
Right. So the thing will be an extra 2. Plus, there's more to squeeze out of United. If you think you renovate Old Trafford, you even chuck an extra tier onto Old Trafford. You could easily turn that stadium.
No. They can't expand Old Trafford. They are never going to be able to expand Old Trafford because of building regs. That's a fact. They'd have to move stadium. They cannot expand Old Trafford. It's a fact. They can't. No, they can't because it affects the surrounding area. That is a matter of fact.
You can buy stuff. You can buy things off. What I'm saying is there are benefits of getting United. United being one of the biggest clubs in England, one of the biggest clubs in Europe. FSG, from what I'm hearing, FSG have no interest in selling. That's the matter of fact.
The second tweet said they are interested.
No. I don't think from what I'm hearing, FSG aren't too interested. Mr. Potter saying a great manager, Tom. His interview after a Villa match was disgraceful.
Oh my God, one interview doesn't define him. He's backed into a corner. He's obviously not going to go out and slam these owners because otherwise he'll get stabbed.
Chris is saying I'm not convinced they will sell, to be honest. Dylan saying FSG won't sell, in my opinion. Let me throw it this way to you. Let me throw it in a.
Let's take football. Let's take Liverpool out of context. You've been offered £3 billion for a company before a massive decision. You reject it. The massive decision happens. It all goes tits up. You're fucked. Everyone is against you. No one supports you. You've got employees. You've got stakeholders all against you. You've got no support, really. You then get an offer of $2 billion for the company. This is your chance to get out of the mess and just go focus on your other one, the one which you're better suited to, the one which you have more knowledge of, the one which you've had more success in. It makes complete sense that they do it. And I will put my neck on the line here. If FSG was to get an offer of £2 billion for Liverpool Football Club, they would sell.
They just rejected.
Right. They didn't just reject it, though. They rejected it before the Super League went up in flames.
But the thing
No,
is,
but you don't understand how big an impact that's had. FSG
you
would perceive that to be £3 billion going into the club. That's not happening now. That we're getting at most 250 million per year.
What makes you extremely confident they're going to sell? What on earth gives you this confidence?
The fact that it's their only way to get out. This is the
what? But what if they don't want to get out? What if they don't want to get out there?
They want to get out. They want to be rid of this shit that they've caused themselves.
What on earth makes you think that? Have you spoken to them?
What on earth makes you think that they don't want to?
They're not going to sell, fam. If you look what Klopp said, he's like, "Oh, these owners are not bad people."
Yeah,
like, he's not going to go out and say, "Oh, John WRE's a prick," is he?
Yeah, but Ollie hasn't said anything about the Glazers. Tuchel just said he trusts. 1 minute. Tuchel just said he trusts Chelsea to do the right thing. Pep didn't really back his board, but Klopp has come out and said these are not bad people. What on earth makes him say that when other managers aren't really doing the same?
It's just his way of management. How are you reading into what a manager, what an employee says, is how it defines whether a club is for sale?
Because
that has no standing of it.
Because he didn't have to back FSG. What I'm saying is that I think he has a good relationship with FSG. I truly believe that.
Sorry about that.
I don't think so. I think the Super League shit is pushed them too far.
What do you make of Tom's comments?
So I missed it. I had to take a call.
I'll recap. I said I put my neck on the line and said if FSG right now were to get an offer of $2 billion, they'd sell because of how the Super League shit went, and they just want a way to get out while they've still got relatively good standing after the Canate deal.
Well, I think that's a guessing game, but if I had to guess, I'd say no. I don't think they will sell. I don't think they want to sell. Why do you think they want to sell?
Because it makes them. They've lost all support from any sort of any sort of group related to the club, related in English football. They've lost support. But they've now lost all voting power in the Premier League, as voted for by other clubs. They've lost all support from fans. I am willing to bet that the manager isn't best pleased with them. That's been confirmed on The Athletic by James Pearce. Jurgen Klopp is furious with them for how they've dealt with the Super League situation. They've not got many people to turn to. If they can get out, make a 7 times profit on their initial investment, get back to the sport that they know in baseball with the Boston Red Sox, I think they take that. Sooner or later, they will sell the club to Saudis. Why not make it now? Why not? Because I highly doubt for the next 5-6 years you're going to get an offer of this level after the fallout of the Super League.
But that's the problem with me. They don't care about the fans. If they cared about the fans, they wouldn't have joined the Super League. They only care about their financial point of view. And for their financial point of view, I think they believe they can make more money the longer they go.
Also, it has to be said, Perez doesn't think the Super League is dead either. What's to say FSG don't believe that? But what's to say that FSG don't think that as well?
Mate, the government, I'm pretty sure the government are going to step in at some point and do something with ownership of the clubs. The Super League is not going to happen for the next 4 years, as it stands anyway, because there's just too much negativity around it. You need to wait for everything about it to die down before you try and revive it. It makes, from a business point of view, you sell now. That is the stone cold fact. Because the value of the club is only going to go down for the next year and a half.
Why?
Wait, we don't have Champions League.
Carry on.
Fall out of the Super League, so that's a loss of at least 300 million per year. Overall, 3 billion. You've got potential loss of assets, and we don't have the guarantee that we're going to get Champions League next season because we don't know the state of returning players. So let's say we don't get Champions League next season, which, as mad as it sounds, is a real possibility.
What's been
That's
their
2 years of Europa League where you've lost values there right now. Goes there. That's all that happens with it. And FSG will want to cash out. There's too much risk attached to the club right now.
What's been their main source of outgoing this season and over 2020 and this season, Tom?
In terms of money,
Yeah,
wages,
and in terms of revenue and financial point of view,
sponsorships, I'm assuming, or prize money.
fans
Is
is a massive one. Yes, because people aren't paying for tickets as much. They aren't going to the games. They get less revenue.
Yeah. So how are they the biggest one?
Next season, fans are back. That's already an increased amount of money incoming.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't sell now. If they was to sell, they'd have sold before COVID.
No, that makes no sense because no one could have predicted COVID. Everyone knows we're going to go out.
They'd have sold at the start of the season when COVID was already wiped out.
No, but that's the worst time to sell.
But
no
why
one would sell at that point because the club's coming off an immense high where they can challenge again, and you haven't had any stupid ideas that would jeopardize club value at that point.
It was recorded the club lost over 100 million due to COVID. Why? When their revenue, they could make that 100 million back for next season's fans alone. They'll make it back. Why would they sell now and not wait until they make that back for another season?
Because are you going to get an offer of 2-3 billion next season?
I don't know. I'm not a Saudi, but
you're not going to.
I guarantee if the Saudi owner wants us, they will.
They're not going to. It will be Saudis, in a sense, have too much money to be smart in its business sense in a way. That they can throw how much they want to get something. But if I was sat there as a businessman, I would not be offering more than 2 billion, for Liverpool Football Club. Because there's too many potential negatives to outweigh the potential positives. That's the matter of fact.
What if FSG value Liverpool more than 2 billion?
Well, then they're clueless because they're the ones that have cost us value with this Super League idea.
Because
you don't want to acquire Liverpool right now because you have no say in anything that goes on in this league. If you're
I'm pretty sure if you have a new owner, they can negotiate that quite easily.
They will not negotiate that, Niall. Stop looking at True Roses, guys. They're not going to negotiate that.
I'm not. I'm listening to what the other 14 have said. They basically said their ideal situation would be for these owners to sell their clubs. But they said that won't happen, so they want new chief executives coming in. They want fresh faces. They can't work with the people that have backstabbed them. What I'm saying is if they do sell that club, the other 14 are probably going to be like, okay, fresh start. We'll give you another chance. We'll give this new owner who hasn't done anything wrong a new chance. So I actually firmly do believe that the new owner will have just as much say as they used to.
No, mate, you'll be shocked when it really comes down to it. They'll be sat there going, "We prefer the more power that we've got."
Yeah, but it's only one club. The other 5 still won't have that. Unless they all were to sell, very unlikely, then the other 14 still have that more power. Also, you have to be fair that if the voting stays as it is, the other 14 don't really give a shit how much power the 6 have because they get outvoted every single time. Because all the other 14 clubs have to do is band together and they outvote them. So
they still don't like the voting power. That's the main issue.
But I do firmly believe that a new owner, and the Premier League will probably force it upon the 14 as well. I think they'll be like, yeah, okay, we'll give this owner this new one a new chance. I firmly believe that.
I don't, but that's just my point of view. I think that it'd take a couple of years for them to get back to that, even with the new owner, because I think the idea is still fresh in people's heads. The basis is still fresh within the club. Just stuff like that. Stuff that may not be true, but it's there.
So in 2019, Liverpool FC had a brand value of 1.34 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just chucking that figure out there. I'm going to look up United's value now.
Well, that's before COVID and before the Super League.
United had a value of 3.5 billion. So
you got to take away $1 billion for the debt. They say it's 700 million. It's probably
yeah. So I think most likely the Glazers will end up trying to sell for 3. I think they will. I do believe that the Glazers. I think the Glazers will sell, and the reason I say that is the fans are much more angry at the Glazers than the Liverpool fans are at FSG. I actually think FSG.
Because we're bottle jobs.
No,
certain fans are bottle jobs. They sat there when it happens. Said, "Oh, we'll be there at the protest. We're protesting FSG out. It's time for them to go." And where they stay? Gini knows. I said, Gini, I'd be there if I could be. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. But too many people are just, I don't even know the words. They just bottle jobs. Bottle jobs is what I'm going to call them. That's what they are.
So this
was the chance to get this vermin out of the club and get our club back. You know what? I'd rather have Saudis in. I'd rather have this dirty money because you know what? They give a shit about the club. They give a shit about the surrounding area.
This is precisely why I think FSG think they can get through this. Because I don't think there's much pressure on them. I think if they buy you Konate, right? If they buy you Konate, I think they've got through this. I think if they buy you a couple of players, I think the fans forget about it.
Do you know what? They're not. They definitely aren't the worst out of the top 6.
No,
but my sole issue with them is we seem to make all this. The club seems to make all this money, and yet we never know where it goes. We just get told they've got to sell to buy. I just want a bit of transparency. I could probably put up with them if I just got a bit of transparency about where the fuck this record amount of money we make goes.
No, I hear you.
The Premier League, Champions League football, all that. It's basically a measuring context. Who has the most money? Who can buy the best players? Who has the most money? Who can do this? Who can do that? We need to be in that. And FSG, they have the money to do that, but it's not profitable for them. But eventually, if they hold up, there's a very good chance they hold on to the club for too long, and all the other clubs get Saudi owners, and then we become the worst out of the top 6, and then the club loses value because it won't be worth 3 billion then. And then what do? You sit there and go, "Fuck! Why did we reject that offer?"
But I don't think they think like that. As I've said, I think they think that there's still more money within Liverpool. I think that there's an element of they think that they can get more out of Liverpool. I also believe that if they have a good window, a lot of this anger goes. I mean, look at the protests. They were pathetic, right? All Jurgen Klopp has to do is say, "Don't protest," and you lot don't protest. If that was Ryan Lowe, I'm protesting because I'm angry. I want this out.
My opinion.
I know your opinion, but I'm backing this into my point that I don't think FSG will sell because I don't think there's enough anger within I don't think there's enough anger from within Liverpool.
Because too many Liverpool fans are too nostalgic.
No,
we sit there.
I know
certain Liverpool fans will sit there and they will go, "FSG bailed us out." Let me give you a little history lesson. There were 5 companies in for Liverpool at that time when FSG bought it. The only reason FSG acquired Liverpool Football Club was because they were the first to put the money on the table. There was
I
a
know.
Dubai ownership. There was a Saudi ownership. We have certain Liverpool fans give these owners too much respect. They don't give us a single ounce of it, and we give them back in bucket loads. And what do we get back in return? Raised ticket prices, staff on furlough, killing the game for a bit of money, and then we sit there and brush it off because they sign a player. It's a disgrace. And you know what? I wish our fans had the backbone of Arsenal and United fans to do them level of protest, because these owners are too protected.
Tom, and this is precisely the reason why FSG aren't going to sell. There's no pressure on them.
Tom, I don't get what you're saying. These owners don't care. These owners don't care about our protests. It doesn't affect them. What affects them is money.
But Gini, you need to look at it this way. We protest, we become we lose value, because that's what happens when you have a negative sort of look out on a situation. That's what happens. So then there's less chance for profit. Then you sell. It is basic. That's what will happen with Stan Kroenke. It's what will happen with the Glazers. And if we don't jump on this ship, it will sail and we'll be left behind.
I don't agree with protesting today. I don't agree with protesting today at all.
Why not?
Okay,
because we have the game.
Let me stop you there. Right, look.
Kick him out. Kick him out.
FSG aren't doing the best that they possibly could.
Kick him out.
Sonny, you are an absolute...
No, what? So because we had the games today, we shouldn't have protested.
Yes. Protest tomorrow.
Well,
Focus on the game.
It literally had zero impact on the game today.
Yeah, no. You see, I agree. I agree with you. I just think.
Stevie, mate, you sound all like Karen.
Tell me, what was you saying? Oh.
Just before I fucking shoot. That's what we're gonna do. It makes a protest today would not have made a single bit of difference on that performance.
It wouldn't have made a single different bit about the owners.
Why do you think they're not going to sit there and look at it and go,
get it in your head? They don't care.
I know they don't give a fuck about the fans, but they give a fuck about
United fans. United fans have been outside the Glazers' house. They've been outside their houses for years. They haven't sold. They don't care. They don't care about a silly protest from our fans before a game. House. Yes, they
have been outside Woodwards
and the Glazers. The American fans, I'll get you pictures. The American United fans have been outside the Glazers' house. You're a joke.
Do you think that the Arsenal protests and the United protests are going to have zero impact?
Do I think they'll sell? No. Do I think Stan Kroenke will sit there on his £3 million yachts with another yacht behind him and another yacht behind that his future kids can have, his future nieces and nephews can have, because he's bathing in money from this Arsenal football club, are going to sit on that yacht and think, oh, hang on, these Arsenal fans don't like me. I'm going to sell this club. They don't care. They're going to think about their money, because that's all these American owners care about, not the fans, not the protests.
Gini, just before I go, these protests are going to damage club value. We need to understand that. And if we damage the club value enough, they will have no choice but to sell while they can still make the level of profit they want to make.
Tell me why.
Because these owners are only in it for money, like you've said.
Tell me why it'll decrease their value.
Because no one wants an asset where the main stakeholder and the actual thing you're buying are button heads with each other.
Yeah,
that's a matter of fact.
No, there's an element of truth in what Tom's saying. I think these protests. I think there's two lots of groups. I think there's two owners that are going to sell pretty sharply. One of them being United. I think United will sell. I think you think about everything. I think they're gone. The other one I think is less so the Kroenkes. The reason what you said about the Kroenkes is completely true. Kroenke doesn't give a flying fuck. Like, he uses Arsenal as a cash cow. I think the Glazers will sell. I think that very much. What I'm going to do is we're going to be wrapping up in about 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat for anyone that wants to come and have their thoughts on what FSG are doing. If you think FSG will sell, let us know in the come on and have your say. A couple of comments here. FSG man won't sell Liverpool, no shock there. Can't guarantee fans back next season. There could be another lockdown incoming. I think there will be fans. I think there will be fans. If there isn't a lockdown, it would only be minuscule for a minuscule amount. Vaccinations are going very well. The elderly are vaccinated, and it's really only the elderly that we needed to be locked down for. I expect everyone to be vaccinated by the summer, if not just after the summer. I agree with Tom. Bottle jobs today at the protest. The Sheden saying English football will be boycotting social media next week. I won't be. In protest against racism, I won't be. Because I think my voice is louder on a platform discussing it and raising that awareness. So I won't be. Everyone has their own opinions on that, but I also basically do social media. I'm basically doing social media as a job at the moment. So that would be irresponsible of me, to say the least, but I respect everyone who does that if they so wish to protest in that way. Chris saying we can't predict the future, so we don't know if these owners sell despite this protest. Some will, some won't. I don't think Tottenham will. That protest was embarrassing. Chelsea definitely won't. City won't. Less so about Arsenal. I think United will. I think there's genuine a movement there. I think United will end up selling.
No, I've got a question for you. Oh, go on.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish the comments and then I'll ask you the question.
Well, it's the last one, but they wouldn't be if they sold. Yeah.
Do you think the three owners that that have this reputation now of not caring? The American owners that don't even know the team's on are FSG, the Glazers, and Kroenkes. Yeah. Do you think if one of them, the first one to go, could have a domino effect on the others?
Yes and no. It's very much down to circumstances. So I think the first one will end up being the Glazers. I truly believe that. I think they've put the price on the table. Someone will do it. Someone will. United is a very prosperous place to have. Could you imagine United being one of the most successful clubs? All of that. But I also think that, there could be that dominoes effect. I do believe that. I think if let's say Glazers sell first, I think that forces Kroenke. Then I think that possibly forces FSG, but it really comes down from the individual fans. I think if there's a lot of anger around, then United will sell, Arsenal will sell, Liverpool will sell. But it has to come from the fans, because right now, judging by the mood at Liverpool, I think that Liverpool might genuinely have just got out of this. They just might have saved themselves. Just by getting a couple of signings in, I think that actually benefits them. I think that stops the anger. Well, it stops it from being too loud. I don't think United, unless United have one of the biggest summers they've ever had in world history. So unless they go get 6 new world-class players, right, I don't think the anger stops. But I do agree with you in terms of domino effect. I do believe that could have an effect. Russ saying, I was referring to a comment about nobody wants to buy if the fans were against the club. So I'm saying the fans would be against new owners, though they would be loving it. Wouldn't be against new owners. Yeah, no, there is an element of that. If the new owners know that these fans will come back to being normal again. The anger won't be there. It's a fresh start per se. Shaden saying, personally, I don't think I will. On Saturday and Sunday, those players will be back on Monday and the abuse will be back. I don't think it'll work. I just personally think my voice is louder on social media. So I do YouTube. I spend most of my time on social media. I think my voice is louder on social media, and I've got lots planned. Tomorrow night, we're going to be discussing the new Champions League format potentially. That's going to cause some issues. Then sort of next weekend, I've got a stream about UEFA and corruption. So I think my voice is definitely going to be louder within social media. The Shed End saying, well, signing up, we people should be asked a little bit more information about themselves, like ID, passport, or driver's license. That's for a different stream. I understand that, but there's also negatives to that. There's positives and negatives to that statement. Dom is saying, well, hey, the fellas. Yes, we are here. Dom,
how's the pub going, Dom?
Yeah, Dom's in the pub. By the way, Dom, we're also waiting for them, the number pictures you said you were sending. I know Gini is particularly excited about his one. Number 23 he was. I decided to go for number 16. I hope it's not explicit. That would ruin my eyesight. But Gini, obviously you heard everything that Tom said. What's your honest opinion? Do you think Liverpool are going to get sold? And Dom saying on the way. We love it. It's good to have Dom back. It is very good to have Dom back.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. We got we got 5 games after today now of the Premier League season. So I think they're going to have the summer, try and win the fans back in the summer. But that's the only thing they can do for a support aspect. It is go and spend big in the summer, go and get what the fans want. And then, like I said, the club reported that over COVID they've lost over 100 million to what they usually have. So they'll see that as a bright spark, that fans will be coming back into the stadium. So I don't see FSG selling in the next year. Has he sent you something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
It's okay. It's not explicit. I got Monsters Inc.
Okay. But yeah, I don't see us selling in the next year.
Yeah, no, I don't. Sorry, I'm just replying to Dominico. Yours will be on your way then. Try to even think what you're getting. Ross saying there's an even better solution. The choice is down to you. If you verify your account, then you then make it so that people can select whether or not unverified accounts are allowed to interact. That's a good idea. I quite like that one. I like that idea, Russ. Big up, Shao saying big up Niall and Genie. The link is in the chat if anyone. The link is in the chat if anyone does want to quickly jump on and have their say. Do you guys think that any of the owners are going to sell their clubs? The owners, obviously, we're looking at FSG, Kroenke, or Glazers. Do you think any of them are going to sell their club? That is what I think I want to ask. The Shedden saying Klopp will be an ex-Bayern coach. No, he won't. He won't. No. He worked at Dortmund. Klopp is a very loyal man, right? A very loyal man. Klopp will never work for Bayern. He'll never work at Everton. He'll never work at United. He has far too much respect for the people that he's worked for previously, and for them fans, he is very loyal there. Big up to KJ Eguta. Love to see it. We love to see it. But we're gonna wrap up there. I think obviously a fairly long stream for just a takeover. Tom giving his passionate thoughts about what he thinks. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Me and Tom get on fairly well. We understand, and he, look, that's his opinion. I really strongly disagree with it. disagree with it hugely. Ross is actually here. Oh, yep, Ross is here. Ross, do you think any of them are going to sell their club?
No, that's what I just popped in to say. These clubs are cash cows. Do you know what I mean? If you think they're going to sell these clubs, you're mental. You know what I mean? How much money are these guys making year in, year out? The only way these guys are going to sell the clubs, right, is if there is something that happens that affects the money coming into the club. If these fans really want to get these owners out, they have to hit them in the pocket. They have to stop going to games. They have to stop paying subscription fee. Cancel your season ticket membership. Like, if you really genuinely want these people out of your club, you have to do something extreme. Because at the end of the day, when they look at these clubs, they see one thing and they see one thing only, and that is money. And the only way that you are going to stop them is by affecting that. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason that they're in these clubs is money. And they get it. They get money. Year in, year out, they're making money.
The Glazers have put down that they want 4 billion, right? They've said that. They've said it quite publicly. They've said, we'll take 4 billion. You want United? We'll go. Give us 4 billion. If someone gives them 4 billion, do you think they'll just take that and go, fuck it, we've made 4 billion out of it? Crack on. They bought the club on a loan. Like, they bought the club on a loan that they loaned back. This is the best bit about the Glazers. They bought the club on a loan and then put that debt on United. Like, they essentially bought the club for fuck all. So do you think that if someone just goes, fuck it, we'll give you 4 billion, do you think they'll just go, cool, we'll take the 4 billion, we'll walk?
Well, at the end of the day, like you said, that, I mean, they bought the club for what, was it 800 million?
Yeah, and they put that down.
And obviously the loans they got were all secured against the club. You know, the majority of the loans were secured against the club's own assets.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think, and they were paying 60 million a year off of them loans, I believe. So, I mean, how long have they been there now?
Since 2005, so 16 years.
So, I mean, 16 years, and they're paying that's 60 million, I think. So, you know, they've essentially, they should have paid off the entire the loans completely by now. So at the end of the day, I mean, they're looking at 4 billion in profit. So I mean, and obviously, if the situation continues with the fans, and someone does come in and say, well, do you know what, you said 4 billion, we're willing to give you that. Yeah, I mean, I could see them selling, but do I see anyone going in there and giving them 4 billion? No.
I think they would. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. United are one of the biggest financially. They rake in a shit.
No, I totally understand that, but you're talking £1 billion over the rough club value.
These Middle East companies have it. I think they'd even potentially sell it at 3.5. I think they would do that. I think
the club value is at roughly 3 billion right now.
Yeah, so I think someone would pay maybe 500 million over the odds. I don't think they'll
possibly. Yeah, no, that's not unbelievable. But obviously,
I think what the Glazers are doing,
the odds is a lot.
Yeah, I think what the Glazers are doing right now is actually quite smart on their behalf. What they're saying is, we want 4. Right, so then now people have that figure in their head. They can then go, well, we can negotiate with these people. Let's negotiate them down to 3.5. And then I think the Glazers are thinking, if we ask for 4, we'll get an offer in between 3 and 4.
Glazers are thinking, why the fuck are these fans protesting? That's like, we're going to listen to them.
Yeah, I think the finances
but then, is it the other option of they've said 4 billion because they know that no one's going to give them 4 billion? You know, is it just we'll chuck this number out there because we know no one's going to pay that, and then we look like, you know, well, we were open to offers but nobody offered. That's not our fault.
Charles saying if it affects their pockets, it's an issue. Dom, have you been living in the beer garden? He has.
I have been living in the beer garden.
Managed to sort out the things, but yeah, fuck FSG. Yeah, Gini, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, the problem is I agree with everything that Russ said. The comment that obviously Shah just put in there. But the problem is that when it affects the pockets, of course, it's the issue. But that is the hardest bit to do. To give up your season ticket, realistically, it's not going to happen because you get the tourists that don't really care about the club. They just want to visit. They want to spend money on merchandise. It's not when you're a massive club. You can't the tourists.
Oh,
sorry.
I thought you said Tories.
Yeah, I probably did. I meant tourists. The tourists that come and buy so many shirts
Fucking
and buy
Tories, man. It's always the Tories, isn't it?
and buy the tickets to the game. It's going to be so hard to affect their pocket so drastically that they're going to sell. They've got the fans are too loyal. I'm a season ticket holder. I'm not selling my season ticket in a billion years to try and get FSG out, but because that's just how. And someone's just going to take it anyway, even if they sell a season ticket.
Gini,
It's not going to affect them.
If you're not careful, FSG are going to try and sell you next. if you're not careful, they'll be like, "Fuck it, the fans are next. Fuck it, we'll sell the fans." Right? You've just been.
They don't deserve us right now.
Yeah, but they'll try and sell you. They'll be like, "Fuck it." If we tried selling the fans, like, right, you've just been sold to United. You've just been sold to Everton. Like, could you imagine? Shao said FSG will offer 3 billion, turned it down.
Yeah.
I just, to go back to what Gini was saying, like, yeah, this is the thing. I understand exactly what he's saying, and that is part of the problem with trying to get the owners out of any club. Is that, like I said, the only way to do it really is to hurt their pockets, and it's not easy when you've got a big team. That's what I'm saying. Like, you've got to go to some serious extremes, and the fans have to be very united in the fact that they want to get their owners out. And like Gini said, with tourists and casual fans and things like that, it's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, you've got to try and. You have to, if you really want to get these owners out, then people are going to have to go to some seriously extreme measures, and it's whether or not the fans are willing to do that. And I think the owners, they know that the fans ain't going to be able to do that. This is why I'm going back to my original point of I don't think they're going to sell, because the fans can't. Well, it's very, very difficult for them to do enough to hurt the owners' pockets.
It's why I only really think Blazers will sell, because they put a figure on the table that can be negotiated.
I mean, yeah, no, that is the fact that they've even come out and put a figure on the table is obviously a good sign for the fans, because, like you say, if they had zero intention of selling whatsoever, they wouldn't even be throwing figures around realistically.
I think, and the reason I think they put 4 billion is precisely as you said. United's valued at 3. We'll say we want 4. We'll get an offer in between. We can probably maybe haggle them an extra couple $100 million. Jobs are good, and we walk away with 3. Let's say they get an offer of 3.5 million. They haggle it up to 3.6 or 3.7. They walk away with 3.6, 3.7 billion pound profit, which is probably what they're after anyway.
Don't forget all the profit they've already taken out of the club in the meantime.
Well, and that as well, but that's a much more costly equation for my tiny little head. But Dom,
FSG is what worries me the most, because
they're not selling.
Their club is valued at 1.5 roughly for Liverpool.
Okay, so the Glazers are worth 4.7 billion.
So there you go. I mean, they could.
4.7 billion, yeah.
Nearly double their entire wealth by selling their club.
That's why I think they'll probably end up doing it.
Which is eventually they could, but I just don't understand how FSG are turning down 3 billion.
That's what I mean.
That absolutely baffles me.
The same with
reason they did it, Ross, is because it was before the Super League, so they thought they was getting money from the Super League. If this offer came in now, they'd accept it.
I think you're right. To be honest with you, I think they bite their fucking hand off when they look back at this, because the club is roughly valued at about 1.5. They were offered basically double the club's value, essentially. If you're looking at it purely in business terms, you know, the club is worth about 1.5. And the fact that they've turned down an offer of double the value of that's like the Glazers turning down an offer of 6 billion. That's the equivalent. You know, it's crazy.
It is. But Dom, what do you think? Do you think that the Glazers will end up selling United? I mean, they've put the figure on the table, so they must have an idea.
I don't know, it's just a struggle with the Glazers, isn't it? You don't know what they're going to do. You just don't know what they're going to do. See, I think they'll only sell if they make a big loss. Like after coronavirus, if they make a big loss, that's when they'll sell up. But any other times, then no, they won't. It's their money at the end of the day.
Well, this is what I'm thinking of. You see, I agree with you, but the fact that they've put a 4 billion price tag on must mean that they're willing to chat.
Yeah, probably because just they think it's time to get rid of because we're not making enough money.
Yeah.
Niall, what you said before seems to have happened, by the way, about FSG. They've come out and said, as Liverpool Football Club, our job this summer is to set to hand manager Jurgen Klopp a timely lift. As of now, we are closing in on details to sign RB Leipzig defender Ibrahim Konate and on loan defender Ozan Kabak on a permanent deal from the FSG. So they're just trying to win us back. Yeah,
I told you. And unfortunately for Liverpool, you're the easiest one because they haven't done an awful lot too badly. They've not been as bad as the Glazers. They've not been as bad as the Kroenkes, which takes some doing, to be fair, to be as bad as them. But there's a real anger within them clubs. I think, and I could be completely way off the mark, but I think United will sell. I think Glazers will sell. They put 4 billion on the table. That will get negotiated. Probably somewhere between about 3.4 to 3.6 billion pounds they'll take away. That added on with the shit amount of profit they've already taken out of the club. I think the Glazers are in a win-win situation right now. I think they're going, fuck it, we'll put this on the table. We'll get that. Job's a good one. Velveshwan saying the only way FSG go is if the statue of Bill Shankly gets removed from Anfield. That's what his grandson wants. The only thing I'm happy about is the Quebec is staying on a permanent. Yeah, I mean, but as I say, the FSG are trying to buy your trust back. But we're going to end it there. And it was never intending to be an hour and 10 minutes, but well, I guess this was what happens when you talk about corrupt owners. As I said, we will have a stream potentially tomorrow night regarding Champions League, the new format. I'll see who's around.
What a load of bollocks.
Yes, what a load of bollocks indeed from Dom. I'll see who is up
Super League Light.
Yeah, it's one of them. But I'll see who is ready for that one tomorrow. It will be a good stream. But before we go, please leave a like on the video. Please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Join our Instagram at Let's Talk EPL _ and our Twitter at Let's Talk EPL. But Gini, where can they find you, mate?
You're not in the pub.
No, I'm back
Get
home
on
now.
Pro Clubs.
I'm back home now.
Get on Pro Club. I'm calling you out. Get on Pro
Last
Club.
orders was 10 o'clock.
What?
Last orders was 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Gini, where can they find you, mate?
They can find they can find me as Splash Zone Zaliba's #1 forward, and you can find me at a bottle on Twitter.
Excellent. Russ, where can they find you, mate?
At CFC_Russ on Twitter. But just like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, basically.
And Velveshwan has been found by a SWAT team. He kidnapped John W. Henry a few hours ago. Dom, you can't be found apart from on here, really, can you?
No, I'm back. I am back.
Oh, you're back.
I am
excellent.
back.
Where can they find you then?
I think it's Dom Linden on Twitter.
It's Dom Lindonian.
It's Dom Lindonian.
My Snapchat
go check. Oh God.
My Snapchat is Dom9919. Don't message me because I don't want you to message me. I've got a what guy.
If anyone wants their dicks rated, just Snapchat Dom.
Yes.
They'll give you
Yes.
out of 10.
If anyone goes pub tomorrow, we got a little group of. We got 5, so we need one more. So.
And I just wanted to mention that Gini has the highest red card per game ratio in the history of pro clubs.
And I'd also like to say
I
I've
also
got Bunda.
highest goal to game.
I'd also like to say I've got Bunda.
Bunda, lovely.
Bunda.
Absolutely lovely. But we're going to leave it there. Big thanks to everyone watching. Make sure that you subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow after the Leeds versus United game, which proves to be an interesting game for the Premier League. Vel Schwan says, I'm getting very terrified of Dom right now. It's okay. It's just Dom being Dom. But a big thanks to everyone watching.